one belief eliminated from your brain could change the course of your reality. Would you want that? It's not for everyone, only the brave. Those who want to own their life like the powerful leaders they were born to be. A pivotal moment can change everything. Now, here's the host of Crossroads to Awakening show, Wendy Paquette.
Hello, and welcome everyone to the Crossroads to Awakening. What an amazing day to be alive and be here together. So I'm your host, Wendy Paquette. I'm a holographic mind reprogrammer. I'm helping humans stuck at a crossroads awaken to their true selves and change the world from where they stand. I believe as a high frequency human, you can see your life as a direct reflection of the programs that are etched into your brain, and it can be easily shifted when you see your truth for what it is. So if you want to access your true self, you can find us over on Crossroads to Awakening show on Facebook at Crossroads to Awakening show. So today our topic is your infinite possibilities. It's such an incredible place to be when you know that everything and anything is truly possible, and not from that wishy, dreamy space of, I call that, bullshit lie space of I'm just telling myself that so I'll feel better, or telling someone else that so they'll feel better. I'm talking about the place where inside of you, your internal knowing, your intuition knows that that is true. And what that means for everyone is that even if you have a doubt about that, you can still access that place of knowingness and step into it, see it, because everything it's showing you is an opportunity to shift it so you can step into it in a greater sense and actually live it. So today, what I'm bringing to you are the 3 keys to your infinite possibilities. So the 3 ways that you can actually have access to knowing this truth about yourself and your life. So I have a few questions as well, like what would you create if you had access to infinite possibilities, and what would you change in your world? And how would accessing infinite possibilities change your perception of the world as you know it, which are all insanely opening possibilities, questions that open answers. Things that'll drop into your mind as ideas. So let's start at the number 1 thing, and I'm going to start right at the top to the number 1 key to accessing your infinite possibility. So I just want to let you know as well, if you're popping in with us here in the chat room, please feel free to ask questions in the chat room, or if you'd like to go live, just pop it in there and Keisha will get to you and pull you on off of mute so that you can ask your question. But I would love to hear from you and really know where you're at with this, and we can walk all the way through it. So back to the number 1 key to accessing your infinite possibility is being happy where you stand. That's the number 1 key. Being happy where you stand. What that really truly means is, even though things in your world look horrific from any perspective, something that causes you pain, sadness, irritation, frustration, the global things that we're facing right now, all of those things cause deep sadness and heartbreak in those areas. That does not mean that you cannot access an infinite possibility where that can change. Because what possibilities are changes, things that get to change to make something look, feel, and be different in our reality. So being happy where you stand means look at where you're at and what you actually have. It's part of that being grateful for the things that you have now. So perhaps you have a roof over your head. You have family in your life. You have friends. You have maybe a bit of money in the bank account that gets you through for right now so you can see what's going to come in the future. And you also have the possibility of seeing the future as you would like it to be and living into that, which means everyone loves a stretch, right? Everyone loves having that ability to say, okay, it's kind of like setting a goal. That's where I want to be. So from where I stand to where I want to be, I get to keep walking forward and shifting the things where I'm at, which means if I know that there's a future to have, I get to be happy about it now. Because not waiting until I get there in order to be happy, because then when that thing that you're after shifts and changes, that means you're never actually going to be happy, because you're going to be following the path of possibility to getting somewhere. And to be honest with you, your journey in life is a consistent movement forward everywhere to something. So you'll never actually get there. So being happy where you stand, seeing what's truly possible from now. So even if you're not in a relationship, and let's just speak into relationships, like some people will ask me, is it true? Is there truly a soulmate out there for me? Is there truly a soulmate out there for me? And my answer is if you'd like there to be. Because the infinite space of infinite possibility means you're going to actually get whatever it is you've decided that you want, because you've decided that you want it. And so therefore your life will line up to deliver it to you in ways that you could never even fathom. You can't even play that out in your head. So what if you just look at, Courtney says, yes, I love that response. Yes. Well, create that. If you would like love in your life, then decide, yep, that's exactly what I would like. I would like love in my life. What would it look like? You get to dive into the details. So in actuality, it seems like, because you don't have it now, that it's in the future, right? When we're going to label it like that. So if that's the case, and we're driving towards that, the infinite possibility is that it is, because you decided so, right? So we're going to use this as an example. Put a beautiful relationship in front of you, calling it the future. And now we're going to put some details inside of that possibility, that infinite possibility, because it could look a million ways from Sunday. We all know that. So what if we put some ideas into this vision pot of a relationship, and we directed our life towards that connection, towards that meeting, towards that showing up, right? So maybe we like someone in our life who's kind and loving and maybe ambitious. For me, it would be ambitious and enlightening and always looking for expansion and possibility, and also funny, like comedic funny, like fall off your chair laughing funny. Someone like that, right? So put that in the bubble of a possibility, and there's infinite people in the world that could fit that possibility. But if you've never decided that that's what you want, and this is somewhat what it could look like, you get to drive, you'll have nothing, because you haven't decided. So it's like being a boat in the dock, right? You could say, okay, we're going for a drive, everybody get in, let's go, right? You're on your journey, and no one ever sets a plot for a destination. And on a boat, that's one thing you do, right? You set the plot for a destination, then you head towards, and it kind of guides you along the way, because it knows where you're headed. Because let's face it, if you're here in Ontario and you're out on the lake and you're in the middle of Lake Erie, you cannot see land for days if you're sitting out there. So how do you know which way you're going? Well, you set a plot, right? And the boat's going to go, great, you're going west, but really you get to go east because you said so from the beginning. Right? I'm going to X, Y, Z. Where's all the fun places that we would go as kids? I think it's Put-in Bay, right? From Kingsville and Leamington, we would head to Put-in-Bay. So you'd log in the details of Put-in-Bay, where it's at, and the boat would start going there, and off you'd go. Same thing with your infinite possibilities in a relationship. This is what I would like it to look like. This is what it would feel like. This is how joyful I would be accessing that. Now, everybody has that in their tool bag, right? Of, okay, so we're going to visualize it, or we're going to intend it, or we're going to vision board it, whatever that looks like. That's great. And the one key piece is knowing that it's possible. Actually realizing, goodness, if I actually set the plot to get there, I'm actually going to get there. Like, unless I change, where I'd like to go a million ways, a million times on my journey, and therefore I'm all over the place. If I set the plot to go there, so in this case it would be a beautiful relationship, I'm actually going to get there. And that is part of knowing that there are your infinite possibilities exist, because it's whatever you decide. So whatever you decide is true is. So part of that is deciding that it's true that there are such thing as infinite possibilities because there is. Even science can prove that, right? That everything has an infinity. Even if they're made together by zeros and ones as numbers in science, mathematics, there's still infinite possibilities, right? So that's one example of being happy where you stand. Because if I told you, yes, that's what you would like, awesome, you'd like a beautiful relationship, set the target as that, know that it's true, because guess what? You're getting it because you said so. Then all you get to do from that moment forward is decide where you're headed. Just like imagine you're in the boat. Just set your target, set your GPS. That's where I'm headed. That's what I would like. And then hit the gas and go. Right? You've already decided, if you know you're going to get there, that that infinite possibility of that relationship is truly possible and therefore is going to happen. So why would you not be happy in that very moment? Right? Why would you not actually be happy knowing that you're going to have it? And if in your like future vision or your declaration of a relationship that you want, if in there your joy is part of it, and I'm imagining that it is for everyone, why wouldn't you access all of that piece of you now? Because what happens if your journey of going from here to a beautiful relationship, as you've declared, is only 2 days long? Like, really think about it. I mean, if you don't know how far it is, then how could you decide? How can you determine that it's going to be a day, 2 days, 10 days, 2 years? You don't know. So you get to choose that sense of joy right now. You get to be who you would like to be in the relationship you're after right now, because that's what matters. Especially if you can imagine in this beautiful relationship, you're not going to be crunchy and irritated. You're going to be joyful and have possibility, and you're going to be thrilled to be inside of your life living it. So that brings me to another point. What if you choose to be joyful now? What if there's a few things that in the future, and I say future lightly because it's whenever that shows up for you. What if in that future you've imagined yourself as being in your career, your dream career? Right? What if all those things, what if you have aspects of that? Wouldn't you like to be on the path to that so that it can all show up exactly the way you imagine it to show up? And I don't mean time-wise, and I don't mean person-wise, but imagine being in a relationship where you're like, yeah, you know what? I love me because I'm in creation mode. I'm like headed towards the career that I know I'd absolutely love. I'm fit because I've decided to exercise or eat proper or shift my diet or take care of my personal health. What if I changed my wardrobe so that I looked the way that I get to look in this perceived relationship? Those are the things that you would get to do now, because waiting wouldn't make sense. You're headed there irregardless. What would happen if you chose nothing? Let's just say I chose nothing. I didn't choose to shift myself. I see myself, joyful in this relationship, but I'm forgetting the other pieces. Like in that joyful relationship, I'm as happy in my body, in my skin, as I would like to be, and I don't make any of those choices to get to there. How will you even recognize that you've landed in this opportunity? You've met someone that matches your relationship if your head's still in the space of like, I'm never going to have the body that I want. I'm never going to be as healthy as I would like if you don't address any of those things at the same time. So really what it is permission. This is what I want. This is where I'm headed. And I'm having it because I've decided that's what I want. So that is my permission to do the things required in order to achieve that. Because it's really fun. If you put yourself in that position and imagine that showing up 2 days from now, it is entirely possible. You could literally have made choices today that would activate that. You know what? I get to mind my diet. I get to mind what I'm putting in my face to eat. I'm not going to eat chips all day. I'm actually going to care about what I'm doing every moment of the day so that I can have the things that I would like to have in a joyful space and be joyful now. So that is be happy where you stand, the number one key to having and accessing your infinite possibilities. So it's not difficult. That's the thing you get to know. It's not hard. It is a choice, and it's an every moment choice. You get to step in now because you've decided so. So my invitation to you is this. Take a look at where you'd like to be. Pick that one thing, whether it's relationship, career, your finances, whatever that is. Choose it. Put it in front of you as though it's in the future. Then today, be happy where you stand and know, oh, you know what? I better get clear on my bank account, or I better get clear on where I'm at with my finances, or I better get clear on looking in the mirror and loving what I'm seeing. And if I'm not, I get to shift into being that now. And every day continuously shifting into being that. And one day you're going to open your eyes, and that day is going to come where you're not going to see it happening. You're going to be walking through your life, and the next thing you know, you're going to bump into someone who is never going to leave your side, because you've attracted them like a magnet to who you get to be in that space. So that went really quickly. The first key to accessing your infinite possibility. When we come back from the break, we're going to head into one now. We're going to talk about the second key to accessing your infinite possibilities. And anyone who has questions, if you're in the chat room, please pop it in. Or if you'd like to go live, absolutely pop that in as well. And we'll get you on here to ask questions about your ideas or your curiosities about achieving that. And let's have some fun. Let's make this world a better place because you've decided to do so and be so today, right now. So we will see you after this next break. I am Wendy Paquette. This is the Crossroads to Awakening, and we are on Inspired Choices Network. We'll see you in a minute.
If you could wave a magic wand and have your life be anything you wanted it to be, what would it look like? Professional dancer, CEO of a multi-million-dollar earth-conscious company, a screenwriter with top billing shows, and ultimately have the boldness to move about the world without emotional blocks standing in your way, therefore having the confidence to achieve anything you put your mind to. That's what Wendy Paquette knows is possible for you. Step is understanding why you don't believe it too, or why you do, and yet haven't created it. Put on your possibility goggles and join Wendy now, because you're at the Crossroads to Awakening.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message? The world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
Welcome back. This is the Crossroads to Awakening radio show with your host, Wendy Paquette. To participate in the program, call in the U.S. 815-880-8255, Canada 613-800-8736, or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. Now back to the program.
I'm laughing because I always jump in early during the commercials. I get so excited about what we're talking about. I just can't wait to jump back in. So welcome back, everyone. Welcome to the Crossroads to Awakening. So we're talking about the 3 keys to accessing your infinite possibilities. And we're on key number 2. So before the break, we talked about number 1, being happy where you stand. And really, that's a choice right now that you can choose today, that you can be happy where you stand today, which is so simple, right? And it is literally like that. The second key to accessing your infinite possibilities is seeing the pain that you're in as a neon sign. Seeing the pain that you're in as a neon sign. And when I say pain you're in, it could be anything from physical pain, mental pain, emotional pain, any of those things. Something that you would consider pain. Maybe you just feel trapped in your mind, trapped in your head, trapped in your life in some way. And that to me would be a pain. Like if you felt you weren't free, what could your life truly look like?
Not choose that requires your...
Oh, without that pain, there's always something fun happening here on Crossroads to Awakening. Anyway, we're sourcing really cool stuff. So if you're seeing your pain as a neon sign, what do I mean by that? I mean, if you're seeing it, that's the number one thing. Now you can acknowledge that you're experiencing it, and then you can look what's underneath of that. What's actually causing you to experience this pain? What's in the way? What's in the gap? What is the trigger to that pain even existing? And even going underneath that when you finally see it. So we can lean into, maybe we'll just keep on the relationship theme of, if you're targeting a relationship and you believe you really want one, what if it's painful to think that you'll never have one and then you might be alone forever? That's a pain. That's a true, real pain. That could cause anxiety, thinking you're alone in many different ways. And how you are one way is how you are everywhere. That's without an exception. So if you're feeling alone in that you don't have the relationship that you're after, I can imagine that in your work or your business or your life in any way, you feel alone in that too, because you're not reaching out for support, you're not asking friends what's up, or you're not connecting with people, or you're not available for others, because you're sourcing the alone part all the time. So in that nature, seeing your pain as a neon sign means acknowledging that you have pain, that it is a source of pain. Wanting something that you don't have causes a source of pain, only because there's a piece of you that doesn't believe you can actually have it, that it's not truly possible for you. So when you're in that space, if you can just pause for a moment to acknowledge that you have a pain, that it truly does exist in your world, and it is blanketing everything, making everything look a little duller, then you can get down to business. Then you can go, okay, I'm acknowledging this. This is the one time that I would actually say, take yourself and separate yourself from the pain just for a second so you can see it. Just to look at it and go, whoa, I've actually been creating a sadness and a void in my life because I want a relationship so bad that I feel like I don't have it, which causes me to feel like I may never have it, or causes me to feel like I might be doing something wrong. And that could be why I don't have one. And then you start creating stories around that aspect. So you can identify those things and then make the shift to correct them. Like, okay, I feel like I don't have that relationship that I'm really after. I don't know are any of you in this position where you may have felt like that's what I really want, but something's stopping you, and that thing that's stopping you, you've not identified yet, but you just know that something's stopping you because you don't have it. And the perpetual nature of not having it keeps you thinking that you may never have it. Is there anyone out there? I imagine there's a lot of people that, really feel that way. It's a perpetual hole that you dig for yourself and thinking that, oh my God, this is not actually happening for me, and therefore it may never happen for me, right? So that acknowledgement of that, instead of leaning in and keep seeing it over and over and keep proving to yourself that it's true, guess what? I don't have it, therefore I'll never have it. I may never have it, and therefore if I may never have it, what's wrong with me? And the rabbit hole of crap keeps going and going and going because you're making it up as you go based on one experience, which is not having it. Okay, so here is where we take a step back. I want you to separate yourself from that. If you can imagine it in your hand as some kind of ball of something that says, okay, I don't have a relationship, and all the crap that's attached to it, everything that you've ever decided that was true about not having a relationship when you really want one, you just hold it in that ball, hold it separate from you, and imagine yourself now asking your person, your heart, goodness, have I made all this up? Have I actually made this up? So I'm going to hold the neon sign in my hand. Yeah, I don't have a relationship. It's true, because I don't. And I really want one. And I don't have one, because that's true, because I don't have one. So if you're holding that neon sign, the pain of that, in that space, you're going to ask yourself if that's all just made up. Did I make that up? Is that a lie? Because here we're seeing it as a neon sign standing out. Yeah, we're feeling horrible. We've got a sadness. We've got a fear. is that really true? Or is that me making it up and I'm living in that space, which is perpetuating the situation over and over and over and over again, right? So knowing that it's there, what can you do next, right? Where can you go once you acknowledge that that's where you are at? Well, my first invitation would be to ask some questions around it. So what do I really want about in a relationship that would cause me to look away from not having one and the pain of that to, well, maybe I haven't actually been deciding what I really want. So maybe we go back to, the being happy where you stand. You can combine those together. I haven't been happy all along because all I can think about is that I don't have a relationship and that's what I really want. But wait a second. What if I separate myself from that for a second and look at going, what do I really want? Now I'm going to lean into, put my mind into a space where I'm like, oh, there is a joyful space inside of a relationship. What does it actually look like? Some people have been thinking for so long about what they don't have that they've forgotten what they really, really want. They've just forgotten because it's so far out of their sphere of thinking that all they can focus on is that they don't have it and how shitty that feels, really. So if it feels so bad, that's all they can think about, and that's perpetuated, and it keeps going on and on and on. Now I'm asking you to look, hold that in your hand, hold it away from your body. Now ask your heart, like, what do I truly want? What would I like in a relationship that I don't have now, that if I had it, I would be blissfully joyful? In fact, it would affect every area of my life. Right? So let's dim the neon sign that I don't have it and lean into what it is that I would like. So let's go back into key number 1, being happy where I stand. And let's start activating those little tickly things that cause me to feel joyful in what a relationship could look like so we can pull it closer to ourselves, because the infinite possibility exists because you've decided so. So now we're going, yep, it's possible that we don't have a relationship, 100% possible. I'm living it, right? I'm living it now. It is true. And what's also true is I could have one. And I'm going to lean into thinking about that. And I mean thinking about it, because your mind is what pulls you from anything. It'll pull you from any situation you're in. Multitasking does not exist. It's one task at a time. It doesn't matter how fast you look at both tasks. You're never looking at both tasks at the same time. So you're going to pull your focus away from what you don't have and how crappy that feels to what you would like and how amazing that would feel. That is an infinite possibility because it's available everywhere. And if it is, then you get to see it. See it in your mind, see it in your heart, see it in your life, and dim the neon light and thank it for showing you that that's what you are focusing on. We're going to start lighting up what you really want, lighting up the infinite possibilities around, oh my gosh, what happens if I actually decided to put myself out there for dates and people started showing up? Like I actually had to follow through on maybe dating more than one person. Like what the heck would that look like? And how much fun could I have in there? And maybe you want to try that, maybe you don't, but literally giving yourself the ability to see something different, right? Make the neon sign beam with what you really want it to feel and look like, and feel it in your heart that it's possible, because it is. I'm here to tell you, anything is possible. There are infinite possibilities around what that could actually look like. It's up to you to choose to see it that way. So moving from not having it to having it is but a mere thought, right? You can make it as crunchy as you want. You can make it as hard as you want. You can make it as struggly or time sucking as you want, but you can also make it as easy as you want. You can make it as simple, as fun, as free, as joyful, and as fast as you want. Both are your choice. So where do you stand with that? What are you looking at? What would you rather put your eyes on? And let me tell you, I realize that there are people out there who would rather look at the crappiness and the sadness and the anger and the frustration and call themselves unlovable and allow themselves to be victimized by their own human spirit, by deciding that they'll never have love because they've never had it, and they can't meet anyone because they don't go out and they're not social, and a million reasons why they can't have it, what they haven't gifted themselves. And that's a victim state, right? If you're going to stand in that, that's more of a victim state. What they haven't allowed themselves to know is that as many excuses and reasons and seeming proof that you have for yourself about not having a truly beautiful relationship in your life is as easy as it is to look at what is possible. Well, maybe I can have a relationship. What if it could look like this? And what if I did have that, and start leaning into that? Because you know what happens? When you start leaning into the joy that you can experience and the love that you can experience inside of a new relationship or another relationship or any relationship, is that it opens up a whole other side of joy. Because what if then from that person you got to meet their family, their friends, their neighbors? What if you got to meet their colleagues? Maybe you got to step inside of their world and share a piece of joy with them, which it would explode into all new possibilities. Even if that person didn't turn out to be the one, you have now opened up the doorway for something amazing to come through. Because what I know for sure is that when you can identify something that doesn't work, you can certainly identify what does. And from that mere not working point, well, you know what? It doesn't work for me that they are, that they're a drinker. Doesn't work for me. Grew up with an alcoholic father, not dating anyone who drinks. What comes out of that is the knowing that you can choose something else. You can choose someone who doesn't drink, right? You're like, okay, I know that's what I don't want, so I get to choose something that I do want. So we're going to go to a quick break. I could talk all day about your infinite possibilities because they're all available to you, and I could speak directly into them. So you can come over to the Facebook group. I have a free Facebook group. It's called the Holographic Wellness Initiative. You can jump in there, or you can jump in and hang out with us in the Crossroads Academy. Either way, we can talk about this and activate all those things that are possible. So let's go to a break. And when we come back, I will share with you the third beautiful key to your infinite possibilities. We will be right back.
If you could wave a magic wand and have your life be anything you wanted it to be, what would it look like? Professional dancer, CEO of a multi-million-dollar earth-conscious company, a screenwriter with top billing shows, and ultimately have the boldness to move about the world without emotional blocks standing in your way, therefore having the confidence to achieve anything you put your mind to. That's what Wendy Paquette knows is possible for you. The first step is understanding why you don't believe it too, or why you do, and yet haven't created it. Put on your possibility goggles and join Wendy now, because you're at the crossroads to awakening. This is Crossroads to Awakening radio show with your host, Wendy Paquette. To participate in the program, call in the U.S. 815-880-8255, Canada 613-800-8736, or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. Now back to the program.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Crossroads to Awakening. We're on to the third key to infinite possibilities, your infinite possibilities. And as I'm looking at them, I'm like, oh, I just combined 2 and 3 together, which is funny. Number 2 is seeing the pain as a neon sign. And then the third one is seeing yourself as the problem and allowing yourself to shift that perspective. Because if you're creating the problem, so number 3, seeing yourself in the problem and then allowing yourself to be the solution. So this is incredible. And I kind of combine the 2 pieces together on the second key. But here's the thing. If you can see yourself in the problem, then you get to be in ownership that you are the creator in your life. You have infinite possibilities because you're creating all possibilities all the time. That's what infinite possibilities means. It means that you, the creator of your life, the experiencer and the creator of your life, have the possibility to create something that doesn't feel good, or something that does feel good. If you're the creator of either, you're the creator either way. So if you're leaning into something that does not feel good, your identification of that pain and what's underneath of it can be the catalyst to being out of it, to actually shifting yourself into the space of joy, in a space where you would love to be, and having that no longer be the source of your pain, but be the source of your possibility. So that you are creator, you are source, and you get to see your life as a direct reflection of the programs that are etched in your brain. What pains can you identify in your life right now? What pains can you identify? Look through those categories: career, money, relationships, whatever. We're going to stick on the same theme. So if anyone's following that theme through, they can still stand in that space. That space, say relationships we're speaking into, if you've created the world where something's not working in a relationship, you have yet still created that world. You are not victim to your world as creator, you're creator of it. And so because you're as awesome as you are, and I know that for sure, what if what you've created has a gift to it either way? So we're leaning into looking at, okay, if I don't have a relationship and I really, really want one, I keep collecting evidence that I don't have one and a million ways to why that's not working for me. What if you could see, well, the gifts in that, the things that are coming out of what's not working, what that could look like, right? Asking questions around that. So let's take an example. If you're looking into, I don't have a relationship and I really, really want one, but now I've attached a million reasons and sets of proof as to how it's not showing up for me and why it's not showing up for me. What if one of those things is, well, I'm just not good enough, or maybe I just don't have what, someone else can love about me. So, I just don't have it. I'm empty. I'm void of what other people could love, because if I did have that, then clearly I would be in a relationship, right? So it's almost like that self-fulfilling prophecy. I don't have it, therefore that's why. I just don't have it because I just don't have what it takes. It's clear. Because if I did have what it takes, if I did have something to love, if I was lovable and I was capable of being in a relationship, then wouldn't I be in one, right? So it's that self-perpetuating, like total results based. I don't have it, therefore that's why I don't have it. So of course I'll never have it because I don't have it. It's this awful circle going round and round and round. The only way to break that circle is for you to acknowledge that you've created that circle. You've created the one thought after the next thought after the next thought after the next thought, which has proof. So you keep proving to yourself that all those things are occurring. How do we get to move out of that? Well, we get to acknowledge that we've created it. Yikes, right? What a, kind of eye opener. Like, what do you mean I created that, Wendy? What do you mean I created that experience of not being happy with, like, in a single space without a relationship because it's clear that I'm not capable of one? Well, guess what? I'm here to tell you something that you're not going to like, or maybe you are, but you are capable of having one. Because if you're capable of creating a space where you're not having one, and you have a million reasons why you do not have one, you're also capable of shifting into the space where you do have one. And there's a million reasons why you do. And have you ever imagined that if you truly allowed yourself to embrace all your beautiful gifts and all the beauty that is you, when you look in the mirror, when you show up as a friend, when you love someone so hard, can you ever imagine being that in a relationship and having choice because there was more than one person that wanted to date you? Like, hello, what would there be in that realm? Would you have more excuses as to why you couldn't, because now you were afraid to put yourself out there and have more than one person actually want to be a part of your life? Well, that would be a whole new choice altogether, wouldn't it? Because now you had to look at them all and decide which one was best suited for you. Oh, poor you with many, many choices of someone who wants to be in your world and love you. So with that, what is it that you are looking at right now? Like, hopefully we're opening up a space where you can finally see that you are the creator of whatever your experience is, especially if it's amazing and especially if it's not amazing, if it's crappy. You've created them both by choice. Maybe not conscious choice. We get to acknowledge that piece of it, but by choice for sure. Right? So you are in control. One thing that humans are often after is wanting to be in control. So you are. Guess what? I just gifted you all the control in the world. You can control how you feel about your situation, what it looks like. You can identify the gifts and you can shift into something else. Right? So I've got a couple of questions here. One from Kathleen. It says, how do I shift from someone who thinks I can't to someone who knows I can? It's the acknowledgement that you are source, that you have created the I can't space. Therefore, you can create the I can space. And you don't need evidence to prove it to you. The evidence comes after the choice, right? So if you are choosing to see your current relationship in the lack of a current relationship as such a horrible thing, it's not working for you, you're so lonely, you really want someone, but you might be unlovable, because if you were lovable, then someone would be there for you, sharing your life. You've collected evidence after you've made that conscious decision in your head. You're like, okay, well, I'm just going to put 2 and 2 together. I want a relationship and I don't have one. So therefore, something's missing. Obviously, it's in me. Maybe I'm not lovable, because that's one of the things that you need to have. So I'm just going to decide that maybe I'm unlovable, or I don't have something, or maybe I'm not pretty enough, or maybe I'm not smart enough. I'm going to make stuff up, right? To prove that there's a reason why I don't have a relationship, is because clearly I don't get to have one. That comes after, right? So something caused you to put 2 and 2 together in a moment. It doesn't matter why, and it doesn't matter when. It matters that you did it, that you chose it. So how to shift from thinking you can't to someone who thinks and knows you can is by going, wow, I'm that powerful. I made the choice to not make up all these reasons or attach all these pieces of evidence to a reason why I don't have a relationship. Now, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to decide that that's what I want, and literally go into your heart space. When I want something, when I really, really want something, I go into my heart space. I get very present with myself. I'm like, this is what I really want, right? And this is why I want it. And I'll tell myself all the reasons why I want it. It has more than surface reasons, that's for sure. And when I know all those things, then I go, I'm having it. That's my choice. That's my decision right there. I'm going from I don't have it and all of the things I've attached to that to the conscious knowing that there's infinite possibilities. And now I'm making a choice to step into the space of I'm having that. Why am I having that? For all the reasons I told myself, right? So let's just keep along the stream of the relationship. If I didn't have one and I was collecting evidence on why I didn't have one, I'm actually going to sit here. I'm going to consciously unhook myself from the reasons why I don't have one. I'm going to go, okay, what if I did have one? What if I was able to go to, I don't know, anything. It could be even a gathering of 5 friends, and there's a new friend there who I've never met before. And I actually, I'll put air quotes, accidentally meet someone that I've never met before. And man, they're awesome. What if I actually stepped into the zone of where I was like, okay, well, this is where I'm choosing to have a relationship, and that it could be amazing because, if I'm creating this, that's exactly how I would create it. It would be amazing. And I'm going to utilize my internal knowing, my instincts, my intuition to guide me. So how do I feel about that? Well, I feel kind of nervous, right? I feel kind of excited. Yep, I think I'm going to lean into that. I don't have any evidence yet, but guess what? You don't need it. The evidence comes after. So I get to connect with myself, be really, really present. Go into the space of deciding that that's what I want. I really, really want it. And guess what? Now the choice is this. I'm having it no matter what it takes. I'm having it. I'm having a relationship. It's going to be beautiful and amazing, and I'm having it. And I'm not speaking from my head of what I think it should be or look like. I'm speaking from my heart of, you know what, this is what I get to have because I decided so. And I think I'm going to be a little choosy about it. I really think I'm going to lean into like, you know, I get to feel like this when I'm with them, and I get to be inspired by them because they're inspired, all those things. And I'm not going to settle for one thing less. Yep, that's what I'm choosing. And that's your switch. The evidence gets collected afterwards. So now what do I get to do in order to put myself out there? There's a million things, right? I know this is a relationship area that I'm not really familiar about the dating scene, but I know that there's a lot of people who are. And you would want to source the platforms, the communities of people that are in that space where they're like, yeah, they're talking about all the new dating platforms and how it's changed because of COVID and all those great things, but literally making the choice to be curious about how you can put yourself out there and allow yourself to initiate others into the sphere of, this is what I want out of a relationship. I don't know when it's going to show up, but I know that it is because I said so, because I am creator. I could create it with not having one. I can certainly create it by having one. And now I get to collect evidence on purpose that I get to be joyful and happy and share my life with someone. So as we move into our final break, I would like to say this. Wait, I don't know that we're 1 minute to break. I think we might be 1 minute into closing. But anyway, one of the things that my invitation for you would be is embody all three of these keys, right? I know Eileen did, like, I've picked one thread of possibility and we chose relationships. I chose relationships to walk all the way through these things. But the three keys to infinite possibilities, your infinite possibilities, is number one, being happy where you stand, right? Choosing to be joyful now. And yeah, I'll tell you the key to that is see the possibility now. Like if you knew that you were getting that, it'd be like if I told you I was going to come over next week and hand you $100,000, you'd actually be freaking geeked about that. And you'd be starting to plan already where you're going to spend it, right? So you could be excited about that. So I'm seeing now I have 8 minutes left. So what I'm going to do is this. We're going to jump into a break. I'm going to come back. We're going to review the three keys to your infinite possibilities. We're going to walk through that. I'll give you some examples. I'll give you a little bit of homework. And I want to know what you're creating, because if you still feel like you're stuck, I'm going to tell you exactly how to reach me so that you can get unstuck. So let's go into our break now, and I will see you right after. Let's get this party going. I'll see you in a minute.
If you could wave a magic wand and have your life be anything you wanted it to be, what would it look like? Professional dancer, CEO of a multi-million-dollar earth-conscious company, a screenwriter with top billing shows, and ultimately have the boldness to move about the world without emotional blocks standing in your way, therefore having the confidence to achieve anything you put your mind to. That's what Wendy Paquette knows is possible for you. The first step is understanding why you don't believe it too, or why you do, and yet haven't created it. Put on your possibility goggles and join Wendy now, because you're at the crossroads to awakening. This is Crossroads to Awakening radio show with your host, Wendy Paquette. To participate in the program, call in the U.S. 815-880-8255, Canada 613-800-8736, or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. Now back to the program.
Okay, now we're back. See, I deliberately did not talk over top of it because I always jump in the most inappropriate times. Welcome to my life, right? Just come hang out with me and you'll see. So we're talking about the three keys to infinite possibilities. One, being happy where you stand. And I was saying before the break, you know, really, truly, if I said, and so we'll keep with the relationship theme. If I said, I'm going to bring over like, $100,000, and we're going to call that $100,000 a relationship, right? We're going to see it that way. I'm going to bring it over next week, and I'm going to put it, him, that, the money, the relationship. I'm going to put it in your hands. I'm going to actually hand it to you next week. Do you feel like you're going to stay the same as you are today? Do you think, like, really ask yourself that question? Are you going to keep being who you're being today in the space of feeling like you don't have something or you don't have a relationship? Are you going to stay the same knowing that that's coming? Heck no. I'm going to answer for you. Heck no. I'm going to, you know what? Oh my God, I'm going to start paying attention to what I eat. I'm going to get proper sleep. I'm going to mind my stress level. I'm going to like dive into my career, my job. I'm going to be joyful everywhere my freaking ass is at. I'm excited. I'm like really excited, right? That's being happy where you stand right now, because it's possible that that is going to occur. And how do I know? Because infinite possibilities are here now, infinite possibilities, right? So when you go to the second key, the seeing the pain as the neon sign, notice where your head's at. Like really, truly see the pain as the neon sign and go, shit, I do not want that anymore. Great, because I created it to show myself something. I say neon sign because imagine a pain is never ending. It's like a neon sign that won't let you sleep. It's right outside your window, right? See it. And we're going to dim and then eventually shut off the neon sign by choosing something else. And that's being happy where you stand. Because let me tell you something, the neon sign of pain can and will go away. Because you're going to see the neon sign, you're going to go, yeah, I'm going to like pull the blind a little further down by being joyful, right? Being joyful and happy where I stand. All of a sudden that neon sign starts dimming. Guess what? Your body knows the difference between when your brain is telling it to be hurt, or when your brain is sourcing joy, which is feeling a little better every moment by moment by moment. The third thing is seeing yourself in the problem and then allowing yourself to be the solution. Because if you knew that yourself, your being, your presence, your ability to even source support or resources in order to shift into a different avenue so that you can have what you wanted, no matter what that looked like, even if it was just in your head, wouldn't you actually be able to see yourself in the problem? Because if you're creating the pain, if you're creating the sadness, the irritation, the anger, the frustration, the loneliness, if you're creating all that, and you are, if that's where you're at in the world, then you can also acknowledge that you've created it and go, wow. Like if I'm actually writing with a marker and I'm writing with black marker and I don't like it anymore, then I think I'm going to choose the orange marker today, right? I'm going to choose the orange marker and I'm going to keep drawing, and it's going to be lighter and brighter, and it reminds me of the sun and it reminds me of oranges, and you're just going to lean into something different. Yet still, you are the drawer, the writer, the creator of your life, no matter what color you choose, and you are the chooser of that color. So I said I was going to let you know where, if you're stuck, or even if you're not stuck and you want to learn how to create from the space of seeing everything as an infinite possibility, choosing it and heading towards it, I'm going to invite you to come to hang out with us at the Crossroads Academy. Come be in there. I mean, right now we're at a ridiculously low cost of $47 a month, where you can come in, hang out with us, ask these questions. You can ask me these questions inside of this group. We go for coffees together. We do group sessions, group meditations. We're starting a book club this week. We have someone who has had synesthesia who can speak into what that could look like. Maybe you're just seeing the world differently. The possibilities are endless inside of there. My intention is to support you in raising frequencies so that this world gets to be joyful, and one person at a time, if that's what it takes, and that's where I'm headed. So be the next person. Be joyful in the space that you're in. I really want to thank you for showing up, for being here, for being present, for supporting me and the show, and the infinite possibilities that we all have in this globe to shift where we're at today, whether it's with our race conversations, with how COVID is experienced, how we get to be closer to our families, or check out our life in this way. Be one person at a time. As we are one person at a time together, we are magical with infinite possibilities. Go to wendypaquette.com. On there, you'll see the Crossroads Academy. Click in, join in, come hang out with me, or pop into the free group. I have a holographic wellness initiative Facebook group. It's free. Pop in there. Thank you so much. sending you all kinds of love.
Thank you for choosing to listen to the Crossroads to Awakening radio show. Wendy Paquette will return next Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, and 11 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We look forward to you joining us again. Until then, enjoy your journey and we'll meet you at the crossroads.